Hey, it's KJ. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you 30 brand new elf on the shelf ideas. Every year we always film what our elf does, what shenanigans he's up to, and then the following year we share that with all of you. So I hope that by watching today's video, your elf will get some ideas on what to do for Christmas this year. And if you guys are brand new to my channel, I do a ton of seasonal shop with me's, especially when it comes to Christmas. I do a lot of decorating videos, especially when it comes to Christmas, and I do a little bit of mom content in there. So things like elf on the shelf ideas, what I got my kids for Christmas and things like that. So if you like any of those things, I would love to have you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new and you like the content. And if you are excited to see what our elf was up to last year, leave me a little red heart in the comments down below. Now, without further ado, let's check out what our elf did last year to give you guys some elf on the shelf ideas for 2024.
He's back! Our elf left us a note saying, "I'm back. I found a faster way to and from the North Pole this year. It looks like our elf and reindeer are a bit more tech savvy this year. Instead of flying to and from the North Pole every night, our elf and reindeer now have a virtual door to and from the North Pole, and they're also leaving us messages on the iPad. So I would say our elf and reindeer are definitely more tech savvy than they have been in years past." It looks like our elf has been watching a little bit too much reality TV. Now, if you guys didn't know, in our house, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, The Golden Bachelor, The Golden Bachelorette, they are staples in our household. John and I are always watching them, so maybe the elf caught us watching The Golden Bachelorette and he got an idea for himself to go on a few dates with the Disney princesses and find himself the perfect mate. So it looks like he's giving Belle a rose here, which, I mean, kind of classic since Belle's associated with roses. Our elf and reindeer typically come right after Thanksgiving, so here they left us a note. "December is almost here. I brought these countdown calendars to spread the holiday cheer. One of our Christmas traditions is to use advent calendars, so we absolutely love these since we are big Bluey fans in our home." We love when our elf leaves us something like a treat or a craft, or in this case, it's like a little bit of an experiment. So it says, "Add warm water to make a rainbow." So our elf left us a plate with Skittles. He even left some Skittles behind, and his instructions were to add warm water. So after the kids found the elf and reindeer like this, we decided to go ahead with the experiment, and I added warm water, and the kids thought this was just so cool. We made a Skittle rainbow, so it's always fun when we have an activity to do. So like I just said, we always love when our elf leaves us something. So today he left us a little pack of ornaments to paint. My kids absolutely love painting. Here's a craft for you to do tonight. So thank you, elf and reindeer. Like I said, we love doing crafts. Whenever our elf leaves us something, we always look forward to doing it together as a family. So he left us these ceramic ornaments. Again, my kids love crafts. They love painting. So this was absolutely perfect. On this day, the kids had a tougher time finding the elf. We didn't find him until I went into the laundry room to do my daily load of laundry, and the kids were like, "Mom, whose laundry is this?" So then we noticed the note from the elf saying, "I hope you don't mind that I did my laundry." So it looks like the elf did some laundry and he left it hanging in our laundry room to dry. From time to time, our elf is known to get into a little bit of mischief. He can be a little cheeky at times. And on this day, we walked into our powder room to find it, well, a little bit of a mess. And the elf said, "Is this what toilet paper is for?" And no, elf, that is not what toilet paper is for. But listen, he decided to redecorate, I guess you could say, and then our reindeer was just along for the ride. But, you know, we had to tell him that's not what toilet paper is actually for. It looks like Spider-Man had something to say about the mess that the elf and reindeer left behind the day before. And with the elf and reindeer being all webbed up, we can only assume that it was Spidey who left us a note on the iPad saying "caught red-handed." I guess Spidey wasn't going to tolerate any mess on his watch on this particular day. He's always making sure things are in order. This was another day that the kids had a hard time finding the elf, and quite frankly, I had a challenging time finding the elf as well. It wasn't until we got in the car to run some errands that we finally found our elf and our reindeer. Now, normally our dog Slinky sits in this spot. She has a little seatbelt, but as you can see here, Slinky was waiting in the driver's seat because her seat was taken. So we had to move Slinky to another spot that day since the elf was hitching a ride. Our elf and reindeer are big fans of books. Today they said, "What a great story. Can you read me another?" We always love reading books with our elf and reindeer. So on this day, we found some more books and we sat with the elf and reindeer and shared more stories. It's a great way to get our kids reading and have a really fun time with some books. What did Mrs. Claus say to Santa when she looked up at the sky? It looks like reindeer. Our elf and reindeer love to leave us jokes. This time they left a little joke with an umbrella just for kicks. We love when they tell jokes. It always gives us a good laugh. One of our Christmas traditions is gingerbread houses, and the elf left us a note saying, "Let's decorate my new home." So of course we were excited to have a new gingerbread house or a cookie kit house to decorate. We have so much fun doing this as a family, and it's even more special when our elf and reindeer leave it for us. Do you want to build a snowman? It looks like our elf made a snowman out of one of our doors. He is so creative and crafty, and it looks like he had the reindeer help him out. We love decorating our home for Christmas, and we really love this creative idea that our elf and reindeer came up with. Let us know in the comments down below if you like it too. Uh-oh, our elf was at it again on this particular day. It looks like he does not know what to do with painter's tape. Like I said, this guy, he could be a little bit cheeky from time to time. He'll try to experiment with different things. We saw him earlier with the toilet paper. We see him now with the tape, and we just might see him again later in this video doing something with some kind of material, unsure what to do with it. So make sure you hang around to see what he's up to later on. We always like to make sure we take time to talk to our kids about the reason for the season. And one great way to do that is through crafting. As I said earlier, our kids love crafts. So on this day, our elf and reindeer left us a couple of crafts that we could do with our kiddos that talk about the reason for the season, or we can talk about it as we make them. We can talk about the reason for the season. So we absolutely love that the elf came up with this idea. Like I said, our elf and reindeer really have stepped it up with their technology. So here you can see they took a selfie with one of our kids. They snuck in, took a little selfie, and then left it for our kids to find the next day. And let me tell you guys something, our kids thought this was the coolest thing ever. It looks like all of that traveling back and forth to and from the North Pole is finally taking a toll on our elf. He said, "Can you take my temperature?" He got himself the thermometer so we could check his temperature. He's got himself a blanket, some tissues, and there's the reindeer just hanging out with him. So we were hoping that he would recover because of course we want our elf to get better. Well, it looks like our elf made a full recovery since they've been up since the quack of dawn. On this day, we found our elf and reindeer hanging out with some ducks. Perhaps they were going to make a makeshift pond in one of the sinks. Uh-oh, the Grinch got a hold of our elf and reindeer. Looks like he was planning to make alphabet soup for dinner. Luckily, I think the Grinch was just playing a little fun trick on us, but there was no soup to be made. But, you know, he did give us quite the scare there, but all is okay. Here we found the elf playing with some Play-Doh. He left us a Christmas tree and asked us to make him something. The kids had so much fun on this day, being creative and making different things for Christmas for the elf and the reindeer. We love when our elf and reindeer get our kids' creative juices flowing. Here we found the elf prepping for the off-season, working on his tan. He was using the ring light to get some, I guess, sun. And laying on the towel, had some sunglasses, some sunscreen, so he was all ready to go, getting prepared for once Christmas was over to sit down and relax. We hadn't had much snow yet this holiday season, so instead of making snow angels, the elf and reindeer made a butterfly. So it looks like the reindeer had the elf lay down and drew a butterfly since he couldn't make a snow angel. I told you guys our elf was curious, so before he found himself using toilet paper and then painter's tape, and now here he is using the floss, and clearly he doesn't know how to floss properly. He said it was harder than it looks to floss. Here we found our elf taking a cozy little nap in our utensil drawer. The kids had a fun time looking for him since they were like, he's not out in the open, like where could he be? So then they started looking through things and eventually they found him. So this was definitely a great hiding spot for our elf. And speaking of hiding spots, our elf found another fun little hiding spot in our kitchen cabinet. He hid under a glass. I guess it reminded him of igloos that they have up at the North Pole. So that was a fun little spot to find him. Here we found our elf making some Legos. He made a chair out of the Legos and then he asked the kids to make him something. So the kids had a fun time making the elf different things. They showed them all the different things they like to create. So we really loved this idea from our elf. This was definitely one of my kids' favorite days when they found the elf. Santa says hi. So Santa texted the elf and he said, "Hey Chippy, hi Santa, please tell the kids I said hello. Will do, Santa, see you soon." So my kids were just so excited that they got a little message from Santa himself. With Christmas right around the corner, our elf was sharing with us his to-do list. Text Santa, feed reindeer, wrap presents, and bake cookies. Our favorite one on his list was definitely baking cookies. We decided to take some inspiration from him and we made a batch of cookies the same day. And speaking of cookies, we had to bake cookies for Santa. So the elf left us a plate and a cup so that we could leave Santa some milk and cookies. And we left him the cookies that we had made the day before so that Santa could enjoy some delicious treats when he came to visit us that evening. Christmas Day is always so exciting, but we always find our elf in our Christmas tree, or at least one of our Christmas trees. We have several throughout our home. So here we found our elf in one of our Christmas trees telling us that he would see us next year. So it's always bittersweet saying goodbye to our elf, but at least we know that we will see our elf and reindeer for next Christmas.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing what our elf was up to last year. If you guys liked today's video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new and you like the content, and if you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave me a blue heart. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye and Merry Christmas.